Welcome to episode 16 of Friends in Film, a podcast where we talk about the latest movie news and theatrical releases. I'm your host, Cooper Hood at Coops_Hoops on Twitter. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Josh Straley at Straley Strong on Twitter. You can follow the podcast on Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube by simply searching Friends and Film. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Josh?
This is probably the most tired I've ever been for an episode.
Yeah, I feel you.
It has been a week.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's been a long day. Been helping my sister move.
Oh, man.
Working on a school project. Now this, and then I'm playing basketball afterwards.
Oh, it's final season, dude.
Yeah.
You're playing basketball afterwards?
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
We finally have some good weather here in Indiana, so I'm taking advantage.
Heck yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I think we've been kind of all over the place this week, though.
Yes.
I just finished up a 2-day stint in Chicago, and you got back from Detroit on Wednesday night.
Early Friday morning.
Yeah.
1:30, because I saw Captain America Civil War really early.
You son of a...
Yeah.
Dude, how was it? I mean, what can you say? What can't you say about this?
That's the tricky part, because I don't want to say anything nobody wants to know.
Right.
So all I'll say is I had very high expectations for this movie, and it met them in every way and surmounted and surpassed them.
Yeah.
In other places. There's been a lot of hype already online about the airport scene that's shown in the trailers. And let me tell you, it is one of the best sequences in movies you'll see this year, maybe of all time.
Whoa.
It's so good.
That's some superlative language.
Yes. I have a lot of other thoughts on this movie, and I put a couple of them down real quick on an alternate Twitter account at Cooper MCUEX. You can find me there, and I'll be writing a full review for MCU Exchange that will drop on May 6th.
Oh yeah, you haven't even mentioned that on the podcast yet, that you write for them.
Yes, that was a fun thing to reveal last week,
right,
to everybody. So yeah, it's been a fun. That'll be a year when I write that review. It'll be a year since I joined.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
If this movie was as awesome as you say it is, that's a great culmination too. Like,
oh yeah, it'll be a great 1 year anniversary.
I was okay with it on Wednesday and Thursdays. I was thinking about you going up to see it, and then Friday morning it dawned on me, and I'm like, Cooper has already seen Civil War. I hate you.
Yeah.
So
it's great in the moment, but afterwards you're just kind of like, oh, I should go see it again. I can't, but you don't want to complain too much because I've already seen it.
Yeah.
So it's been a hot topic to talk about with a lot of my friends. They're very jealous. They joke that they're gonna kill me. But it was an incredible experience.
I just ended up drowning my sorrows in a binge watch of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and it seemed to mellow me out a bit. Yeah.
I mean, you can't be depressed while watching that show.
No.
I don't think. I haven't finished season 2, but it's hilarious.
It's definitely good for sure. Tina Fey and company have written an amazing series.
Yeah, and I love Ellie Kemper early on from her Office days.
Oh, absolutely.
And then she has a hilarious small role in 21 Jump Street as well as the teacher that's always hitting on Channing Tatum.
Oh, that's right. Of course.
But that's enough. We have a jam-packed episode. That was just
this week was insane.
It was so much. There's stuff we wanted to talk about, but we don't have time, and we're still going to try to cram a lot into this. And I don't know how we're going to do it and not go for hours upon hours, but we will. I mean, we have a time constraint, so we can't go that long. We will go long, but
we don't technically have a time constraint, but people's attention spans.
Yes. So this week we'll be reviewing Jungle Book, the brand new CGI heavy adaptation from the 1960 or 1940, whatever it was, the really old animated version by Jon Favreau. And before we do that, we were going to get to all the news that dropped this week. But if you don't want to hear us talk about a whole bunch of stuff, you can skip ahead. It'll be a pop-up on your screen if you're watching on YouTube. If not, just keep skipping ahead, because I know we said last week you could go about halfway through the episode to get to the review, and it was probably more like 75% half through the episode. So we'll see. Hopefully it's not too long for you guys. but we'll be mindful. And again, we introduced our mini news segment last week. So
do we have a name for that yet?
I think you named it.
I did, but I don't remember what it is.
Neither do I. So that's embarrassing.
We'll figure it out for next week.
Yeah, I really liked it, whatever it was too. So, oh well, you guys will hear it next week, whatever the title is that Josh came up with.
Whatever this new segment is, let's dive in, huh?
Yes. So first up, Alden Ehrenreich is now reportedly the front runner to play Han Solo, according to Deadline.
Bam.
So
That's
I'm
awesome.
happy about that.
Absolutely.
I liked Taron Egerton a little more, I think, but not being as familiar with Ehrenreich, I think that might give him a little bit of a better edge to the rest of the market.
Definitely. And I mean, he'll be able to mold his image to that Han Solo character.
Yeah, there's not going to be, unless you go see Hail Caesar, which not a lot of people did, there's not going to be that preconceived idea of who he is as an actor.
Yeah.
To go like, oh, he's not Han Solo, he's Eggsy from the Kingsman movies.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or Eddie from Eddie the Eagle.
Yeah,
which
which nobody saw.
Right.
Shame.
That change was impossible. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Shame
so
on
go see Eddie the Eagle when it comes out.
We gave
on
it
Redbox.
a good review.
Yeah.
And passed it over.
Yep. Another mini news is Sony officially announced that the Men in Black 20 Jump Street crossover is happening, and they officially titled it MIB 23. Do you like the title and the idea of the crossover?
It rhymes. Is that right? Is it in my head or is that rhyme? MIB 23.
It rhymes a little bit, yeah.
Or is it an automapia?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I just like it. It's like cool. And then we talked about who they might cast in that as the roles of
that was all speculation, but yeah.
J and
K, yeah.
But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this crossover to happen. The titles, I'm a fan of. I don't really know what else it could be.
Sure. I like the bromance of Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. They're an awesome combo.
Yeah, just Schmidt and Janko in that universe going up against aliens. That's an idea that I think is really cool. And then Warner Brothers also announced at CinemaCon. A lot of news from CinemaCon.
A ton of news.
And it was kind of unclear, but it's definitely real now that Ben Affleck is in fact going to direct a solo Batman movie. It's in the works, but still no release date.
Yeah, but it's happening.
Yes.
And I know you had feelings about this that were like they should do it, but you don't want them to do something with it.
I don't want it to be
a prequel.
Yeah, a prequel origin movie.
I don't want it to be an origin movie.
I think it. I mean, maybe not origin, but I think it will be a prequel. Unfortunately, I would rather them see them move the universe forward instead of keep jumping back for like Wonder Woman, Batman, a bunch of Suicide Squads taking in the past.
Yeah,
so it's like I just want this franchise to move forward, not backwards.
What if they moved backwards and did an Under the Red Hood tale? That way, it kind of explains why Batman wanted to kill Superman.
Yeah. Because
he failed to kill the Joker, who ended up killing Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea if that's the way they go.
I hope so.
We'll see. I don't really know nobody knows what Ben Affleck's thinking about at this point.
No, me neither.
And then Sony also CinemaCon.
Yeah.
After the red carpet Los Angeles debut of Captain America: Civil War, Tom Holland flew from LA to Las Vegas to announce the official title for his solo movie, Spider-Man: Homecoming, reveal the logo. Then he flew back to LA for the after party of the premiere. And then, Homecoming is the official title or subtitle, I guess. Spider-Man: Homecoming is the full title for the first solo movie. You like it?
I think I said last week when we talked about it, I like the idea a lot because it's like representative of the atmosphere and the idea of Spider-Man coming home.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we talked about it last week. It's definitely the best of the options that they had registered so far, and to see this being the title they're going with, I'm okay with. We'll just have to see what kind of stuff they use with it. If it's like what you're saying, like it's about him coming home to Marvel, or if it's like homecoming dance type thing, which I think would probably be kind of both.
Yeah, kind of like both. And I like the idea. I love the fact that it's gonna, if it's as long as it's about a homecoming dance, I like the fact that it's talking about he's in high school and homecoming dance is usually for like 16-year-olds, or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's young. And I like that.
Yep. And apparently we know 2 of his high school classmates, as Deadline revealed that Tony Revolori from Dope and Grand Budapest Hotel, he's joined the cast with Jeff Snide from The Wrap, saying he's playing a character named Manuel, and he'll be one of Peter's friends. And then before he commented on Riveroli's role, he reported that Laura Harrier is joining the cast as well in a significant role. So I don't know what that would mean, but it's a diverse cast so far.
Yeah,
it's looking like,
for sure. And it just solidifies that idea that they're tossing in a bunch of people from him to interact with in high school, instead of Gwen Stacy being the only person that he knows, or Mary Jane from the first trilogy.
Yeah, I can't remember who it is, but there's this other love interest that Spider-Man has briefly in the comics, and I think they're roommates for a while as well in college.
Yeah.
But I can't recall her name, but I think that's who she could be playing.
There's a lot of modern Spider-Man comics that have the potential to show their face, and that's really cool.
Yeah. And then the last piece of news, mini news, is Ryan Coogler is co-writing Black Panther. Kevin Feige told that to Collider, and that they're working on a script currently, and filming on the movie will begin early next year.
Dude, you saw Black Panther on the screen.
Action. He's amazing.
Okay, so, and then I think before they even announced who was directing Black Panther, you wanted Coogler.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, before it was official, there were rumors, and I was like, and after seeing Creed, I was like, he is the perfect choice after seeing Creed, and then Fruitvale Station before that. And after seeing what Chadwick Boseman does with Black Panther Civil War, I'm so excited for this movie, and I think Coogler will kill it. And the fact that he's also co-writing makes me have the mindset that this will be a really emotional, character-driven film.
Yeah. And like, if him directing it made the movie 10 times more interesting, but knowing that he's able to put his thoughts and feelings and all of that into the actual script too, and not just the direction, it's going to make for an awesome continuity through it. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And it's funny, we have a lot of Marvel news, especially MCU related this week.
Oh my goodness!
And it's funny because after the podcast last week, I was complaining. I was like, man, I really want to talk about Marvel. And because I was like, we haven't got to talk about it a lot. Yeah. And then like this week was just like slammed with Marvel stuff.
Yeah, we spent like a half hour on the Rogue One trailer.
Yeah.
And then it's like, there's nothing last week.
Yeah, but now we're gonna move on to our main news segments. And they're going to be a little shorter than we would probably like them to be just because of time. But we got 3 new trailers this week, one for Suicide Squad, Fantastic Beasts, and then the premiere trailer for Doctor Strange. The Suicide Squad trailer was the third one. I liked it. I think I liked the second one the best so far. But this one had it looks like they're just I thought it was going to be a darker, more grounded movie. I hate using those words.
Sure.
But I think that's kind of they're gonna flip it, and they're going more fun, upbeat, crazy type of movie.
Yeah. Early impressions for me were like Sucker Punch. That's what I thought I was getting from the first 2 trailers, the Comic-Con one and the first official one. This one kind of paired with some themes of the second one. It was set to those classic rock songs, Ballroom Blitz and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
They kind of changed everything. I'm like, oh, this isn't, some gritty, everything's going to blow up and all the characters are evil movie. This is a Guardians of the Galaxy, only just a shade darker.
Yeah.
With DC characters.
Yeah, and then we also got the second trailer for Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
And as we talked about before, and as I have confessed on the podcast, I am not the biggest Harry Potter fan because I've not seen any of the movies. But I will say this: the thing I can say the highest praise I can give this trailer is it makes me interested in this franchise and makes me want to go watch those movies. So I will be doing. I'll definitely watch them before this movie comes out. And I really liked Eddie Redmayne so far.
That's a really good defense to have in your back pocket. So that when you say you're not the biggest fan of these, is because you just haven't seen them. But I love the. I'm not sure what the year is, but it's New York City, and it's all old, and everyone. I don't know. It's just a cool scene to have set up.
Yeah, and like having not seen the Harry Potter movies, my favorite scene from it was when he jumps off the roof and then he like collapses in on himself and disappears. And I was like, whoa, like that was cool. I don't know if that kind of visuals happens in the other Harry Potter movies, but I think this one will kind of be more like fantastical.
Yeah, a lot of people rag on the Order of the Phoenix as being the most boring, but I think that's when like there's like a lot of sweet magic happening there. So which is like those warps that you see Eddie Redmayne do. But how about Colin Farrell?
Yeah, I saw the cast list, and I get it. People like they haven't shown in the trailers yet. I can't remember which ones, but like it is a pretty impressive cast. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, Colin Farrell just screams to me Brooklyn for some reason. I don't know if he's even from there.
I don't know.
But as I saw him, I'm like, oh man, that guy. I'm hoping he's on the good side, so I don't have to like root against him. Kind of seems
like the villain, or like an antagonist a little bit, but like maybe he helps him out in the end.
He looks at the camera and says, "This thing is more powerful than a human," which makes me think that he may be good. But whatever side he's on, I'm gonna have a hard time thinking, oh, like rooting against him.
Right. And then Doctor Strange trailer also dropped. And I love this trailer. It got some mixed reactions online. From what I saw. I just thought it was visually very interesting. The Inception style building collapse. And then what Mads was doing, it was like what's the kaleidoscope kind of looking, like how they're like forming the buildings. And then when Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, even though she's bald, that was a little weird to me. It's been like at first like, who is that? It's like, oh, it's Tilda Swinton, she's just bald. That was weird. But when she hits him and he leaves his astral form, which is like his body, and goes into like ghost mode basically, I thought that was just like really cool. And I loved all the parallels that the trailer had, where they would show a flash of him as like Stephen Strange, surgeon, like high roller, suave guy, and then it would flash from like that to him as like a damaged guy. My favorite one was when he had the surgical gloves, steady hands, and then it flashed to him like behind the bar, and his hands are just shaking, and he just looks terrified.
Yeah, maybe the reason it got so many mixed reactions is because you needed to watch it once or twice before you get an idea of what this is about. Because when I saw it the first time, I was like, okay, Doctor Strange, whatever. And then I watched it again and again, and then it finally hit me, oh, okay, all of these pieces made sense. All the different dimensions and things like that, because it's not explained. It's more of like starting to get you hyped for it.
Yeah, it's definitely a teaser where it doesn't show you. It shows you kind of the plot of the movie a little bit, like, oh, he gets in this car crash, he goes and finds the Ancient One, then he says, "Teach me."
Right.
But I was a little bummed, and I know a lot of other people were, that he didn't actually use any magic, and that the only shot we've seen of him in the trailers, in that one trailer, is in his Doctor Strange costume with the cloak of levitation and everything, was from the back at the very end.
Yeah. I did like the marketing strategy of them dropping the poster early in the day and then have that be the final shot of the trailer.
Well, then they dropped a second poster afterwards.
Did they really?
Where he's doing one of his like spells? Magic signs, and it's like it's so trippy.
Okay, I'll have to give that a look. I must have missed that.
Yeah, I can't remember if we shared it on the Friends of Film podcast account, Twitter account. So if I don't think we did. But you can find it if you look for. It's on mcuexchange.com. You can find it there.
So I want to take back something I said last week on the podcast about how maybe the Star Wars anthology movies are going to be able to take things in a cooler or a more diverse direction than the linear Marvel films. And I saw this and I thought, well, this is about different dimensions, space, time, and all of that. And it got me thinking, if they pull out more of these other Marvel comics and characters that have so many different ideas other than just heroes saving the world, like Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange's plots, I'm going to eat my words eventually. And
Marvel has a wide library of characters at their disposal. And if Suicide Squad does well, I think one of those Phase 4 movies early on will be like the Thunderbolts, which is basically Marvel's version of Suicide Squad, which is a team of villains that occasionally team up to save the world.
Yeah.
So it has like the likes of like Baron Zemo, Red Hulk, sometimes Norman Osborn's in there. So it could get pretty interesting very quickly in the MCU. And those movies won't happen until after Infinity War, the two-parter, and the Russo brothers, who are directing this after they're now done directing Civil War. They told comicbook.com that Thor and Star-Lord will be in Infinity War, which confirms for the first time that the Guardians and Avengers will cross over, which makes me so excited.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard not to look at Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, and think, oh, him and Captain America would just be like best friends or something like that,
I just want to see just the verbal exchange going on between him and like Tony Stark, where they're just like throwing jabs back at each other, and then like bringing Drax on Earth.
Yeah, or anyone's reaction to Groot.
Yeah,
like, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So,
or especially like Tony to Groot. That would be crazy.
Oh yeah. And Rocket, like if you bring Rocket down, he's got his guns and a raccoon, like they're gonna be like, what the heck? And that'll really cement like, oh, like Earth is like, we think Earth is weird, like we need to go explore the other corners of the galaxy.
What the heck else is out there?
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting. And then one of those other, otherworldly properties is Inhumans. It's the final film currently in Phase 3, but it's getting pushed apparently because Kevin Feige told Collider that because it was set to come right around the time of Indiana Jones 5, that they don't want to compete with that because I mean, who would?
No, it's gonna be a monster.
So Inhumans is a really not well-known property, and you have the return of Harrison Ford as an iconic character, so they don't want to go up against it in any way, and Disney's not gonna cannibalize themselves by putting two major movies right next to each other. So they're pushing it. They didn't set a new release date, but it will not hit the what is it supposed to be, like a July 2019 release date or whatever it's supposed to be.
Sure. I know a lot of people thought that they were just going to cross it off the list because of where the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series was going. So
I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think later in the article he states that it's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
Yeah. So it's definitely still happening, but it's just a little farther away, which maybe means they'll give them a little more time to negotiate with Jake Gyllenhaal to get him aboard as Maximus the Mad, which would make me so happy. And continuing with the MCU.
And speaking of people you want cast, right?
Yes.
Well,
and
this one is
previously talking about Ryan Coogler and Black Panther and Creed. Marvel's just kind of taking everybody from the Creed franchise, it seems like, because they got Coogler doing...
Except Michael B. Jordan.
Not yet. Yeah, hopefully one day. They got Coogler doing Black Panther. Stallone's rumored to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And now Tessa Thompson has joined Thor Ragnarok, according to Deadline, where she will, quote, be a kind of superhero and will appear in other Marvel films as well. So, I mean, she's sticking around. She's a Black female superhero. So anybody who's still complaining about diversity in the MCU needs to shut their mouth. Also, for all the people who hate Natalie Portman for some reason,
they have reason to rejoice, I think.
Yes,
right?
because she is not coming back in Thor 3 at least. So there you go.
Yeah. 2
exciting pieces of news.
Oh man. She's also in Selma too, I heard, or I think.
I think she has a small role in it.
Yeah, but from it sounds like what she'll be doing in Thor, that's gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah, because then Latino Review ran the rumor that she'll be playing Valkyrie, who is this warrior princess, basically not a princess, but she's just this like really crazy warrior. She rides on a flying horse.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I hope that makes it into the movie. And there's been people speculating that she'll be the new love interest of Thor now that Portman's not going to be gone. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope
they've got to explain that away, though.
Yeah. I just hope if they do go love interest, they bring in another love interest for Thor, that they just let Jamie Alexander as Lady Sif just slide right in there and be the new thing for Thor.
Sure. Only time will tell.
Yes. And again, with the MCU, it's MCU, but it's also Sony.
Sony's MCU.
Which,
journey.
It's a whole complicated thing, which I was watching or listening to Meet the Movie Press, hosted by Jeff Snyder on the Popcorn Talk Network, and he was talking about this tour we're going to talk about, and he said when he tried to get confirmation about it, that he was directed to Marvel instead of Sony.
Oh, wow.
So that makes it seem like Marvel's making all the casting choices, and
that's a good sign.
Feige even said he kind of did this kind of slide at Sony. He's like, we're running this show type of thing.
Ooh, okay.
He's like, their name is on it as producers, and it's their movie, but it's like he's like, we're writing the script, we're producing, we're hired, we're doing everything.
Yeah, we never talked about the whole arrangement that Sony and Marvel cooked up.
Well,
I know it's a year ago, but
I don't know when if latest we'll get to it when we do a Spider-Man Homecoming preview episode. But anyways, to the piece of news that I keep referencing. Birth Movie's Death reported that Vulture was being looked at as a villain in Spider-Man Homecoming, but not the villain.
Yeah, I hope not.
Which then a day after, coincidentally enough, Variety reported that Michael Keaton is in talks to play a villain in the movie, and they did not know the role. So putting two and two together, Keaton is Vulture, similar to Birdman.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I don't know if it was you that retweeted it or the account that we did it with, but someone took the costume that Keaton was in Birdman and applied some color correction to make it look like the Vulture outfit. It was
great.
I don't know why. I just started laughing like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Vulture is a weird villain I'm not that familiar with.
I'm not familiar with him at all either.
So, but I'd like to see Kraven the Hunter be the villain, but if Vulture is somebody that comes in at the very beginning of the movie and he's kind of the guy Spider-Man dealing with as we learn about the real threat that's coming, and then he defeats him, and then Vulture can come back at some point, just kind of be a recurring guy. That'd be cool, especially if they got somebody like Keaton.
I would just hate that Vulture is Michael Keaton if Vulture is only 15, 20 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that would be disappointing.
I want him to be someone lasting in the MCU if they're going to get an A-list guy like him.
Yeah. I know there's been some people thinking that he could be Norman Osborn. I don't see that personally.
I don't either.
I just don't think he has the look.
Uncle Ben, maybe?
No, they're not doing Uncle Ben, and he's not a villain.
Oh, okay. Well,
and there's been people thinking he could be J. Jonah Jameson.
Ooh.
Which he's not. I mean, he's an antagonist to Peter, but he's not like, I wouldn't say
villain.
Yeah, he's a villain.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
So
still holding out for J.K. Simmons to make that work.
That's not happening.
I can dream.
You can. And then,
but Michael Keaton, everybody loves him.
Yeah, bring him on board. I don't care. I mean, any quality actor you can get in the MCU, I'm all for.
Absolutely.
And speaking of adding talent, Kingsman Golden Circle added some talent this week, in a couple of ways. First, it was reported that Elton John is reportedly in talks to join the cast.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I like
which I don't know what kind of role he's going to be. I kind of envisioned something similar to like Mark Hamill's role in the first one.
Oh, yeah.
He's in there for like a minute, and then he's
classic,
gone.
Though. I mean, it was a good minute.
But the bigger piece of news, in my opinion, is Channing Tatum announced on Twitter that he's joining the cast as a Southern gentleman agent person, I guess.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I know I said like I love Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum together, but then I thought Taron Egerton and Channing Tatum, doing like the same stylized action stuff. I'm like, that would be one awesome shot, wouldn't it?
That'd be insane. And I just thought about this. We were talking about last week about how Doug Liman is going back to Edge of Tomorrow 2 because Gambit pushed. I'm guessing this is a movie he can only do because Gambit got pushed. So that's probably a good thing.
That is an awesome connection. Thank you.
If you're sad about Gambit being pushed but excited about this, I would personally, I think that's kind of how that came to be.
Totally.
So I'm really excited to see what Tatum can do with Matthew Vaughn's action style. So this should be a lot of fun. That cast is insane already.
Absolutely. And then there's obviously the teaser that we're gonna get Colin Firth's character back in there. So
and Halle Berry, Julianne Moore. It should be. 2017's a stacked year already. Star Wars 8, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor, Spider-Man, Kingsman.
It's gonna be a busy year.
It'll be fun.
But speaking of a busy year, one movie that's not
coming out that year
is
getting pushed.
Avatar.
Yeah. Just because of James Cameron's ambitious goals for the franchise, they're not going to hit their 2017 release date, which they had previously set, which is a good idea because you don't want to go up against Star Wars
or the slew of movies that in that area.
Yeah,
but not only did he cancel it, if I'm reading this article correctly, he went ahead and announced 3 more or 2 more.
He announced 1 extra.
Oh, okay.
Because he'd already planned to do
4 or 3.
He already announced that he would do 3 more movies. So now he's like, you know what? My idea is so great. I'm gonna expand to 4 movies.
What the heck?
So I don't have the dates in front of me. It starts in 2018.
I've got the dates. Yeah. Okay. Avatar 2 in 2018. Avatar 3 in 2020. Avatar 4 in
every 2 years.
Yeah. And
2022 and then Avatar 5 in 2024.
Avatar 4 and 5 in 2022 and 2023 respectively.
Oh, it's like a 2-parter.
So
interesting.
He's definitely got, he's allegedly got a huge saga on his hands.
Right. Do you think people are still looking forward to more Avatar movies?
I don't. It's the worldwide #1 most grossing movie. So
yeah,
but people love the first one. There's got to be some hype for the second, and third, and fourth.
Maybe if it was
and fifth,
2011.
Sure,
but it's coming out a decade after the first one. That's just crazy.
And
what kind of movie spawns 4 sequels 10 years after it's released? Not many.
Yeah, because you could make the argument. Well, Star Wars waited 20 years.
They already had
10,
3 movies. Yeah.
But they did 3 movies, 3 more after the 20 years, and it built up a huge cult. I don't know anyone that walks around, dressed up as an Avatar blue person whose name I don't even know because I don't care.
Well, even when was the last time you watched Avatar?
Not since the year it came out.
All right, yeah. So I saw it once in theaters, and I think I've watched it twice on DVD.
Yeah.
That's over the course of currently 8 years. So I don't have an insane amount of anticipation for this movie.
No, me neither.
But James Cameron's done he's got a great track record.
Absolutely.
So
that's why
it's hard not. It's like kind of you pick a side.
Yeah, it's. I just want to. I don't want to strangle him, but I want to look him in the eye and be like, "What are you doing that is so amazing that you have to, you push your movie to 10 years, and then not only do you do that, you add another one. You know? So it's just
because we don't have a lot of details on the plot.
No,
really.
Just that there'll be new ecology for.
And I saw they had like a new logo for the franchise with the bird as the middle part of an A. So I don't know. I'm not that excited. I think 4 is ambitious. I don't know if we'll see all 4 of these. It would definitely. I mean, if it all depends. If Avatar 2 comes out and it makes $2.5 billion worldwide, like James Cameron's gonna crank the rest of those out.
Oh him and 20th Century Fox, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean they'll put pedal to the metal.
Yeah. That is the end of our news segment, though. Got through that pretty quickly. I'm pretty proud of us.
We usually spend time ruminating on so many things.
Yeah, we could have expanded on some other stuff, but we're trying to keep it a little shorter for you guys instead of going an hour and a half. Even though we very certainly could. I could have given an hour and a half review of Civil War. Crying out loud. I almost did. I almost recorded a special episode after I saw it because I just wanted to talk about it so bad.
We should still do that anyway, man.
But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll do that another week
as we get closer.
Yeah.
Because you're just a tool if you start parading it around about how you've seen it this early.
I know that's the trickiest part. Probably,
or at least I'll think of you as one.
Like I want to talk about like anytime I bring up the experience of going and seeing it, like my friends are like, "Are you talking about seeing Civil War again?" I'm like, "Sorry, like I'm not trying to like rub it in.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it." And like there were funny stories from the experience that I want to tell you guys. But that was not the only movie that I saw this weekend.
Let's talk about the movie that I actually saw.
The Jungle Book was released. It's as I mentioned earlier, it's the reimagining of the original animated film. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. You want to start off?
I don't know how I'm going to start off but I don't think this made my most anticipated, but it's going to finish in my top 5 because we were talking Avatar. We talked about being the reason it was so awesome because it was revolutionary for 2008. The Jungle Book is revolutionary for probably the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I can't imagine something surpassing it. And it's not so much that the story is so intricately done or it was like totally different. It was basically the same thing you've seen in the 1960s or 70s, but it was creating so much more drama and making everything beautiful to look at, and at the same time having those total heartwarming moments where you're like, oh, this is why I love the original cartoon of this. Yep. It was beautiful in every single facet. I didn't know what Jon Favreau was trying to accomplish by doing this, but I totally get it. And I don't know if this was like his favorite and he wanted to do it like incredible. Help me out here. I'm struggling. Like what the acting was great. Like everyone in their roles just fit so well. Bill Murray is Baloo. Like that's who Baloo is to me. He's Bill Murray. Like that's like the personification of him. And I could ramble on for a little bit more here, but take over.
Do you have a rating?
I have a rating. It's 5 out of 5 red flowers.
Yeah.
That we went with?
Yeah, that's okay. I guess that's what we went with.
It's a thing from the film there. But it was because the voice cast was fantastic. It goes from Christopher Walken, Bill Murray, Idris Elba, Lupita Nyong'o, Scarlett Johansson.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah, it goes on from there.
Yeah, I will echo everything you said. Voice cast, I mean, oh my goodness. Like, talk about a star-studded event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all those names you just listed off, incredible. The thing that I really liked, I mean, okay, the CGI, the fact that only Neil Sethi, I believe is how you pronounce his name, that's the kid who played Mowgli. He's the only real thing in the film.
Yeah.
Everything else is CG with the exception of a few
Props.
mini sets here and there where you could kind of tell at certain points when like that grass looks actually real, and then they pan, it's like that in comparison looks a little CG. But I mean, it's so good, the CG in this movie, and I think kind of what you said about Avatar, I think that's a perfect comparison, and it is getting comparisons to Avatar and Gravity leading up to its release just because of how visually innovative it was.
Absolutely.
For movies. And I think unlike Avatar, like this has a lot of rewatchability factor, because even though the story is simple and it very much is similar to the original cartoon, it's so fun. It has a lot of heart.
So much heart.
And it's just an adventurous tale that I really want to go see it again. The score and soundtrack for it is so good.
It's Oscar nominated.
I bought it this morning. I listened to the whole thing already. I was listening to I Want to Be Like You earlier, and then Bare Necessities. I mean, who doesn't love that song?
It's funny you say that though, because I didn't buy it, but I put it on repeat on Spotify today doing homework, and marvelous.
Yeah. And I think the thing that it did probably the best is it's based on a pre-existing movie and source material, and it took that material, it did it better, which is not something that's done very often, whether it be taking a book to film or taking a comic to film or taking anything to film. It's hard to, especially to do a reimagining of a pre-existing film.
Totally.
Like that doesn't happen a lot where a reboot or a remake is better than the original. So
can you think of one off the top of your head? Because I've got one in my head, and it's Total Recall.
Yeah, like
that's it.
The Raid movies. I haven't seen them personally, but I know they've gotten a lot of praise for how they were remade. So yeah, that's a great feat for Jon Favreau as director. I mean, he continues to just, his resume for what he does is insane. I mean, he kicked off the MCU. This is a major breakthrough for film technology and CGI. Chef, his kind of indie film that he did, is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up.
I can't remember. Those are the three that really stick out to me when I think of Jon Favreau. So I'm really excited to see what he does next. And as we'll get to later, he's already in the talks to come back for a sequel. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
And so that part makes me glad, because I hated the Jungle Book sequel. Like as a kid, I'm like, oh, this isn't that good. They
made a sequel?
They made a second one, yeah.
Oh.
It's about him in the village. And the fact that you didn't know they made a sequel is the exact reason why you don't even need to know. Yeah.
I think that's all we'll say without getting into because there's not really spoilers because it's based on an older movie, right? But like there are some changes to the movie and the way they depict other things. So from here on out, I guess it's spoilers. But a non-spoilery comment I have to make is Idris Elba is 2 for 2 in my book. Starting off the year, I mean, voicing Shere Khan in this, and then voicing the police officer in Zootopia. He is Star Trek. He's the villain in Star Trek this year. I don't even know what else, but he's off to a killer start. And I mean, he was great as Shere Khan.
I've never been menaced by a CGI character before. Heath Ledger, sure, that's where I felt intimidated by in like one or two like ghost movies, but it was the drama, not the actual thing. But when he showed up at the watering hole and Mowgli's just there and he's storming around that thing, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm actually terrified for this kid.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna get mauled. And then the same thing again when
when he goes to the wolf pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, I was like, no, this is not gonna end well.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just straight up kills the lead. I can't remember the name of the lead wolf, but he just kills the leader of the wolf pack. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I was like, if he hurts Gray, the little wolf, like he's like my favorite part of the film, because he's just so adorable. I want like a little baby wolf as a pet. I was like, if he kills him, I'm done.
Yeah.
I won't stand for it. So yeah, he was great. And then like the kid Neil Sethi, I thought he did a really good job as he's looking at green screen and tennis balls.
How expressive was you? It was incredible.
Yeah,
he was so expressive. We're working with nothing but tennis balls.
Yeah, there were there were a couple of times where like when he was talking to, I think who was it, Raksha, his mama wolf.
Yeah.
Where he's supposed to be looking her in the eyes, and his eyes are kind of going left to right, like he's not sure where to look at. It's like, I don't even care.
No.
Like this kid, like he's carrying dialogue with, and I didn't even expect him to talk that much, because he doesn't talk like hardly at all in the trailers. And
he
then
says 1-2 things in the
and
trailers.
then like within the first 2 minutes, he goes on this like long tangent, and I was like, whoa. I was like, I was not expecting this, but like you're doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was great. And then his relationship with Bahira, Ben Kingsley was a great Panther.
Oh, he
perfect
was
choice.
Sage in that movie.
But the songs, as I mentioned earlier, those were just so good, because those songs are well known by pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
And then they incorporated Bare Necessities pretty naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I Want to Be Like You was kind of out of place a little, like it just kind of happened. I was like, oh, it's musical.
Yeah.
But it was so good and fun that I didn't care.
It was so in step with the score, I felt, that when it shifted the tone a little bit, I was like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I was still mesmerized by the chills, or the reaction I got from Christopher Walken's appearance as King Louis. Because I was always wondering how they're going to do this, because this is one of the more out there scenes of the film.
Oh yeah.
I mean, aside from talking animals, but when they it was like The Godfather meets what's the movie? Apocalypse Now. That's what I thought. That's what I thought of, and I was like, oh man, he seems normal, but then he's slightly crazy, and just enough to get it to that musical part, and I think it made for the best rendition of that song I've ever heard.
Yeah, but like, to Favreau's credit, like he follows like the original story pretty closely up until the very end,
and that's my only drawback on the movie.
which I at first, like when it ended, I was like, oh, wait, really?
Mm-hmm.
They're not having Mowgli go to the Man Village? I was like, that is weird. And I was like, oh wait, they're talking about a sequel.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there we go. I was like, I wonder. I'm like 95% sure they probably filmed him going to the Man Village.
Yeah.
And then they got the feedback for the movie, and they're like, people are loving this. Like, it's gonna open big. It opened over $100 million this weekend.
Yeah.
Domestically. So they're probably like, okay, we can end it here at this happy moment with them on the tree, and then we can have a whole story about him going to the Man Village or meeting the seductive like little girl from the like original movie, which is so weird. But
it was innocent. I mean,
but she's just like singing to him and like batting her eyes. He's like,
right.
oh wow, little girl.
Yeah.
What are those like? Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna rephrase that. It gets more innocent in the sequel that you haven't seen, so it's not all like that. Okay, so maybe that's why my image isn't tainted as much. But my only problem with like the movies, the original and this one, is I always felt like the ending was just way too trumped up.
In what way?
Just in in the sheer scale of it, like I always felt like it needed to be more one-on-one instead of involving so many other characters. But
yeah, but it's at the same time, it's like him going to the man village. If it was just him, like wandering by himself, and then he finds the girl.
well, I was talking about the conflict with Shirka.
Oh,
That-
Shirkan.
yes,
Okay.
my bad. No,
Okay.
the
I was like,
I don't care about the man village. They're doing
Okay.
they're doing a sequel of this.
That-
Of this. My hand reactions when I express this are just crazy right now because I have not had Eddie the Eagle was a good heartwarming movie, but this just blows that entire feeling I got out of the water.
Yeah, I will. You had a problem with the animals rallying around him.
Yeah, that's what I
like the
meant.
wolf chant. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Like, that was a little weird. I was like, how do all these animals know the wolf code? Like, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like when he started saying it to Baloo, like Baloo, he's like, well, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he starts reciting, and I was like, what? So that was kind of
Yeah.
weird.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up. Well, I'm glad that you were looking at me like you're crazy. Like, what are you talking about,
I
Josh?
had no idea what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about like, the
Yes.
missing ending. I was
Yeah.
like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, because like in the cartoon one, there's like a volcano involved and lava.
It's lightning strikes because like he doesn't set fire to the forest to kill Shere Khan. Lightning strikes a tree
which
and catches on fire, and then he takes a tree branch and ties it to his tail, and then freaks him out.
Right.
Which I loved. They added some mythology to Shere Khan's past.
absolutely
Killing Mowgli's parents, which was interesting.
then getting
and
scarred by.
And then getting the scar, which like when they first showed, I was like, ooh, like that does not look good.
No.
And like that sets it into stone. It's like why he hates man.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like in the original, it's just kind of like, so you just don't like fire?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's no vendetta other than he just wants to eat the kid.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a reason why you want to eat somebody.
Right.
I guess because it's kind of in the CGI thing too, but I've never seen a more expressive animal in my entire life. Specifically Baloo, but everyone else too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what made that entire thing just awesome, was having Bill Murray in a comedic role as Baloo, and then having him able to like express everything that he's saying was,
Yeah, it was good. I just realized I never gave the movie. I never rated it.
You said you agreed with me, but
Yeah, so it's a 5 out of 5.
nice.
And it is my favorite movie that has officially been released of the year.
Of the year. Okay, awesome.
So,
oh, that's right. Okay, officially released. I was like, wait a minute, you're gonna put it over top of
yeah. So
Civil War.
if you catch the drift, there may be a movie above it.
Okay, you just.
But
just,
yeah,
you don't have
the
to brag about it.
sorry. But your CGI comment, that was like anytime the animals were talking, I was never like when it's like, why are animals talking?
Yeah.
Like it felt natural and real, and the fact that so many different animals were talking, like when he first goes to the watering hole and he keeps bumping into people and they're like,
Mhm.
Mom, what's that? He's like, and then he bumps into the round. He's like, watch it. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's just so good. I really like that, but I was bummed that none of the elephants talked.
Oh yeah.
And that was the other thing that was kind of the other kind of big thing he cut out of the movie, was in the original movie there's the elephant line song where it's like hut 2 3 4, and it's like the elephant chant, I guess, or whatever, and they cut that out, and I was half expecting it to happen at the end, and it didn't. So hopefully they get some really great voice actor to be like the baby elephant in the sequel. I don't really know who. I don't really come to mind. I just had the thought this morning that I really want Bill Hader to voice. If they had done the talking vultures,
Oh yeah.
Bill Hader as a vulture would have been perfect. I think.
Oh, definitely. Oh yeah, no, he'd be a perfect choice. I would take him or this is kind of out there. He's not even a traditional actor, but I think Seth Meyers could do a good job.
That would be interesting.
I was watching him on the Late Show. Yeah, that's what he does now. Or no, the Tonight Show.
It's the late show.
I think that's James Corden. Late Night. He does Late Night with Seth Meyers.
Because he's right after.
I was watching him, and I think he did a Donald Trump joke. Surprise. But I was like, you know what? I could see him in something. And then I had that thought on the way over. I'm like, oh, that's why I could put him in.
Right.
I think he's expressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
rave about the music.
I mean, it was I kind of expressed like how much I love the score and the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It just like the thing I love probably the most, like kind of bare necessities, like the theme is kind of playing throughout the movie whenever he's with Baloo, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Just because I was like always humming like.
It's just that it never felt out of place
at
all. You're like, oh, really singing? Until then you get to King Louie, and then you're like singing, but that's not
fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that they made him a Gigantopithecus or whatever it is.
Yes, because the orangutans aren't actually in that region of the world, but they found remains of whatever he is.
Yeah, like Favreau researched and they found the Gigantopithecus. I think that's what it.
Yes, that's exactly
called.
what it is.
They found out that type of orangutan or giant monkey, they used to be living in the jungle. Now they're extinct, I believe. So they're like, hey, we'll just base it off this guy. And that was incredible because instead of having to be like an orangutan, there's like, here's this ginormous. And then once he stood up and started swinging, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was like, it's King Kong.
No, yeah, absolutely. If you want to have a sweet image, look up the photo of Christopher Walken sitting beneath the frame of King Louie. Yeah. And I saw that before going in, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to portray him in this movie, but it's probably going to be in the world of squeezing the life out of Mowgli.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Almost.
Yeah, almost, but he was somewhat crazy happy when you meet him. So it wasn't all bad.
Do you have any other thoughts about the movie? It's a simple movie to review, I think. You either kind of enjoy it. There's not that big of it has a very tight, simple story that's easy to follow. It's not a lot of twists and turns and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
Oh, totally.
And the sequel, it's in the works, according to the Hollywood Reporter. It's already happening. And Favreau is in negotiations to direct again. And then Justin Marks is in talks to write it again. So
that sounds perfect to me. Hopefully
everybody can come back. It'll be interesting to see when it takes place because I saw it when we were talking, I think it was before we started recording, but I saw I saw Bill Murray and Neil Sethi on Kimmel, and they were singing Bare Necessities, and that kid looks so much older than he does in the movie. It's insane. He looks like he's 2 years older and probably a foot taller than when he was filming. So the sequel, I'm guessing, will take place a couple years after.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of why they didn't go with he went to the Man Village ending, because in the sequel, from what I think, he'll be becoming more of a man instead of being just a man because he can control fire.
Yeah.
And then he'll kind of be more mature and be thinking, maybe I should learn more about what this human thing's all about.
Right. This is sort of like hey, you're not one of us. You're something. You're different. You're special. And the next one is finally coming to terms with who he is. Yeah,
because throughout this whole movie, he's always like, well, maybe I could be an alligator. I could be a wolf. I could be a bear. I could be a hippo. I could be a rhino. Well, maybe not because I don't have a big horn or anything.
Right.
But he's like, but they're always nice to me. But I did really like him using his they called it tricks. Whenever he would invent, anytime he'd build something.
Yeah.
I really like that. Just to see how, even though it did kind of bring questions how does he know how to do that stuff? But at the same time, it's he has a human brain.
Right.
I mean, you'll figure it out, I guess.
Kind of, it brings up a couple of themes I think that are explored in the book about like man's nature and things like that.
But hopefully they can get all these characters back for the sequel, especially somebody that had a smaller role in this movie than they did in the original. Scarlett Johansson's Ka.
Yeah.
She was like, because in the original, Ka pops up 2 or maybe 3 times throughout the movie. And in this one, it's only once. And I was surprised they actually did the hypnotic eyes thing. That was surprising. But probably the best thing that she did in the movie was when the credits were rolling, her song that she sang came on. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like, Scarlett, you have an incredible voice. I was like, that was like one of the main reasons I bought that. I was like, I'm buying the soundtrack. Like right then and there, I knew it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even though she didn't pop up as much as you were expecting, when she does, she takes over the screen.
Yeah.
Ka does, for sure.
It's like when Mowgli goes into that part, I was like, I knew it was coming because of the trailers and stuff. But then I was like looking at every tree branch and see like, is that a snake? Is that an actual branch? And then like you could see somewhere it would move slightly, and it's like, oh, that's her. And then when she finally appeared, I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, hopefully they can bring all these people back. Well, except for, Idris Elba won't be back as Shere Khan unless he somehow survived a fall explosion in the fire. But yeah, bring back Bill Murray, bring back Kingsley, bring back Lupita Nyong'o, Scarlett, Christopher Walken.
Yeah, I'll be heartbroken if there's no Bill Murray.
Yeah, then bring in some talking elephants. I want to. There's no reason the elephants can't talk.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care if they're the king of the jungle. Like, make them talk. Bring in. I don't even know what other types of animals live in the jungle, but
flamingos.
The flying squirrel, I really liked him as well, and the armadillo and the porcupine and basically all of them. Yeah,
it was another Zootopia thing where you're like, as they spoke and as they did stuff, they're like, oh, that fits so well.
Yeah,
with
it's
them.
like I want to see an origin story about this guy.
Yeah,
like spinoff, porcupine spinoff movie now.
Yes, give me a Ben Kingsley spinoff there.
Yeah. So yeah, we're both looking forward to a sequel.
Yes.
As long as that happens, it'll have plenty of interesting stuff to go about, and I haven't seen the cartoon sequel, so I don't know how they'll go. But
don't bother.
Yeah.
Nothing. If you didn't go to
based on your review, I hope they don't go anywhere near that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they might adapt a little bit though, with him with him kind of being interested in the man village, but then also wanting to stay in the jungle. But he meets the girl, and then he kind of learns, but he doesn't like commit. Yeah. And then at the end of the movie is him choosing jungle or man. Yeah,
in the sequel, he basically struggles with his choice of being in the village, because then eventually everyone in the village is like, we have to go out and wipe out all the animals in the forest.
Well, that can't happen.
Right.
Because then I'm going to hate mankind.
Absolutely. That was one of the things. That's one of the things I hate about Avatar. They're like, we're not going to negotiate with anybody. We're just going to
we're just going to take their home planet, take their resources, kill all of them. It's like, wow, we are really bad people. Except for Sam Worthington. He's the only good one.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into the
we'll talk about Avatar
sociological, historical things that mirrors, but that's another episode.
Yeah, and that'll be the end of this episode. We did it. We did a pretty short episode for you guys.
Awesome.
So hopefully that's a little better for you guys. I mean, we haven't got any complaints about, you guys need to go shorter on your podcast, but, we understand that an hour and a half is a long time.
But if you would like to complain about our length, leave us a review in the iTunes review section.
Yeah, do that. That'd really help us out. And yeah, that's it. We're going to announce the winner because we had a drawing. If you gave us a review on iTunes over the last month, you would have been eligible to win a copy of Captain America: The First Avenger. And Landry Gonwick, you're the winner. Woo!
Ta-da! Or hooray!
Yeah.
We need a drum roll next time.
Yeah, so you'll be getting your copy in the next few days. Josh is responsible for getting it to you, so if you don't get it, you can be mad at him.
Yeah, I have a couple duties here at Friends in Film, so let me get on that.
Yeah. So yeah, congratulations, Landry. Be on the lookout. We'll be doing more giveaways in the future. I have a lot of cool Star Wars Force Awakens stuff I've kind of compiled.
Oh,
that
absolutely. Same here.
I have like extras of. So maybe in December, once Rogue One's approaching, it's the 1 year anniversary of Episode 7. We'll do a big episode. We'll do a big Star Wars giveaway.
Totally.
Stay tuned for those kind of announcements. And you can get those announcements by following us at Friends and Film on Twitter. And then you'll get those updates on giveaways when our podcast drops. And you will also, we share any news that we might talk about. So there's other news topics we didn't get to cover this week that we wanted to. But those other stories are on our Twitter feed. So some interesting stuff happened. Check it out. Follow us, retweet us. And then, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, all of it.
Yes.
And whatever platform you're on, subscribe, follow, like, share, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. And then, as I said earlier, give us a review on iTunes because it would really help us out and push us up in the charts where when you search Friends of Film, it's like, bam, there we are.
Yes.
So, definitely do that. And thanks again for tuning in to the Friends of Film podcast. Josh?
Internet, thank you as always for stopping by, and see you guys around.
Yep, we will be back next week. And before we do so, be sure to watch some new movies as we return with a review of The Huntsman: Winter's War.